What's up, gentlemen? It's episode 280. How we feeling?
Glorious, great. I couldn't feel better actually. When you just wake up and orange juice tastes a little bit sweeter. Shout out to Dick Butkus.
Yeah, we should probably talk about the elephant in the room, right?
You guys think this is such an outsized thing for me, and I really I'm over it.
After just like 12 hours, you're over it?
Yeah.
Is that a Jimmy G signed San Francisco helmet? Mini
It's
helmet?
it's actually a Jeff Garcia signed helmet.
That's
I don't
so
know
much
what's better.
funnier.
Isn't it? It was much cheaper
Jeff
too, probably.
Garcia.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh,
Jeff
fuck.
Garcia, absolute man.
I just don't care. It's fine. I'm fine. There are
Smithers, do you think Rodgers is done with Green Bay though? Do you think this is the last season?
I probably, but it's also really stupid and pointless to try and predict because nobody really knows except for him, and again, it's not that big of a deal. I like football, but it's not my world.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
good front to put on there, but it's like end of an era. I mean, Green Bay has $44.8 million over the cap this year, and that's the second highest that they need to cut in order to, and that doesn't include signing Devontae Adams or Aaron Rodgers yet. So that's going to be tough to deal with. Also, Rodgers said he doesn't want to be part of a rebuild. And do you have any faith in Jordan Love moving forward?
It kind of sounds as I didn't know any of that, first of all, and it kind of sounds as though they're living rent free in your head.
No, I'm just looking forward to the future. He lived rent free in my head for 17 years. I don't need that fucking shit anymore.
I mean, then shouldn't you be concerned that he would come back?
No, because of the situation at hand. If Aaron Rodgers does not want to be part of a rebuild, he's got how many years left does he have? Not many.
So I don't understand what I really don't get is everybody thinking that because he doesn't play in Green Bay that you'll never have to play him again.
Yeah,
No, but
he's going to be on the Raiders with Devontae for sure.
They can't afford that either. Look, it's not. Look, the game sucked. It was not even an entertaining game, really. It was a bunch of drops and shit like that, and they couldn't even score a fucking offensive touchdown. The Niners couldn't. It was freezing and snowing, and look, it was a bad game. I don't know what to say, and whatever happens next happens next. I'll get through it.
Jimmy G is that kid in your biology class that is in your group and aces the test because it's a group test, but he didn't do shit.
He's not good. And look, I mean, he's obviously an NFL starting quarterback, but he's not in the top half of quarterbacks that I would pick in the league.
Brick, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I wouldn't pick him as a top half quarterback in the league either, which makes losing to him even worse.
All right, let's move on from Green Bay. It's sad. Smithers is really trying to hold up and act like he doesn't care as much, but
I really just no, Brick, you especially.
You know what?
This is your the fact that you can't look forward to anything of your own, even regardless of the fact that you can't even stick to one team. The fact that you would come out here now and rag on me when each team that you have picked throughout your life has never won anything.
Yeah, so that's irrelevant at this point because moving forward is something that we do have something to look forward to. It's a new GM, new head coach. We don't know. This is all brand new.
Yeah, and they've got such a good track record of hiring the best and brightest, and how they handle things at Hallis Hall is definitely the most intelligent.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just saying that it's the end of the Packers, which is great because that opens up the door for everybody else in the NFC North.
You're done. You're done, Smithers.
Somebody clip this so that next season, when the Packers still win the NFC North, we can come back to this, and you're so certain because you know everything that's going to happen.
I'll bet you the Packers don't win the NFC North next year.
You think the Bears will?
I'll take the field over the Packers. I think the Lions might be better than the Packers if they have Jordan Love starting a quarterback and they got to cut a bunch of defensive players to get under the cap. I'm gonna have to bust out my signed Deebo Samuel jersey.
You are such a fucking front runner too.
All right, let's stay NFL, but move on from the Green Bay talk right now. Who do we think is going to win the Super Bowl? I have Bengals.
Look, I've been a Bengals fan my entire life. I don't know what you guys are even talking about. Joe Burrow
Brick.
is God.
You sound like Brick right now.
Joe Burrow's the
No,
man.
if I sounded like Brick, I would say I've always like that. Nothing else matters, and all that matters is the future.
I
It
love
doesn't
how
matter
Matt
the
Damon
Bengals
says,
hadn't won in 31 years prior to this.
I think the Bengals will win, and I want them to win genuinely, though.
They won't. Did you see their offensive line yesterday? They were fucking Swiss cheese. Joe
They're
Burrow's
pretty
going to
bad.
get cracked.
They're pretty bad.
9 sacks was like an NFL record for most sacks in a playoff game. How do
Look-
you even win that game from that? Oh yeah, Tannehill just throws 3 picks.
Yeah,
Jamar Chase, 4 touchdowns in the Super Bowl game.
that's fine as
predicting
long
it
as
right
Joey
now.
B's throwing them to him, because that means I'm going to win that fantasy league.
If that's the
do it.
case, you would win that fantasy league.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hedged my heart on that when I picked a bunch of Packers. I still have the Chiefs, I guess, but I mean Aaron Jones played well. AJ Dillon got the touchdown, but all my Packers are done.
All I want is for next week in the AFC Championship it to be Joe Burrow versus Josh Allen. I think that would be incredible. The story
Same.
leading up to it, just the moxie and the swagger between the two of them. I fucking love it.
Couldn't be
Mhm.
more over the Chiefs. Get them out of there.
Chiefs,
They had their
Bucks,
sign.
get the fuck out of
Sorry,
here.
Daryl.
All of that.
Exactly.
Give me something new. I want something new. I want a new coach. I want a new quarterback that hasn't won. I want to see Matt Stafford get there.
I love that too. And then we could talk about Machine and his whole argument about how Matt Stafford's a shitty quarterback, goes to a new team, wins the Super Bowl immediately would be hilarious.
I mean, look, Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl. Not just because you win a Super Bowl doesn't mean you're a great quarterback ever.
Right.
And you can be a great quarterback without ever winning one.
Helps the legacy though.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, Smithers, I think there's only two things left to do now since the Packers are out of it. First thing being we need to go to Bringer, all right, today. And second thing is we need to put in a reckless bet on the Bills. Moneyline Bills. Reckless for us means like $70. But
I don't know if that's reckless, dude. I think honestly, I think I'd take the Bills. Like, I'd take them by 3.
I don't know. The Chiefs scare me. I fucking hate the Chiefs so much, and I don't think they're that good this year. But whenever I bet against the Chiefs, I lose. They're one of those teams.
Honestly, dude, I just hate watching Tyreek Hill because I know what a shitbag of a person he is, and
Such a
he's
piece of
so
shit.
fucking good, and it drives me insane. I mean, I don't know if you guys were following that local Bears reporter, actually, Hub Arkish. He talked about how Aaron Rodgers was the biggest jerk in the league, and I just thought of all the guys who have felonies and have like beaten their wives and children. Adrian Peterson beat his son's ball sack with a switch, and Aaron Rodgers is a bigger jerk because you don't like him. Okay.
They just don't like his haircut.
I mean, his haircut is terrible. But
shout out
Brick,
to the chat and Twitch. Thank you guys for joining, by the way. We got a couple people in there.
Absolutely. Brick, I want you to weigh in on this whole Microsoft buying Activision thing, because it seems like Microsoft's just a monopoly now, and nothing is going to stop that. I'm really confused. I don't know what the fuck Sony is doing other than sitting on their hands. What is happening?
It's beginning to look a lot
like Christmas. Yes.
No, yeah, Xbox is just kind of taking over completely now. Yeah, you're right to put it in a monopoly sense, because they got Bethesda, they got Activision, they got Blizzard. All those games are going to be going on to Game Pass, presumably. Wilpo put a tweet out for Phil Spencer, who was talking about how, don't worry, Sony, we're still going to honor those contracts until, because, Sony's a very big player in the game. We don't want to completely ruin you guys, is basically what he said. So, because COD has notoriously had all these aggressive play first contracts with Sony over the years. So it's crazy that they actually managed to just kind of get this purchased. Well, how much was it? $69-70 billion?
$69 billion, quite the nice price tag, and a hell of a consolation prize for the Activision CEO, the shitbag who had been reportedly harassing everybody, all the women that worked for him for years, and now he's just going to get a big fat fucking paycheck to go away.
At least he's going away,
I guess.
But maybe with new ownership, they'll actually change the game Call of Duty to its former glory. But yeah, because the game's Duty. I hate Call of Duty. But I'm pumped to see what happens with the new Overwatch. I loved Overwatch when it first came out. I mean, it came out like what 5-6 years ago, maybe. Overwatch 2, I've been waiting for it, but it's just such a simple but like great concept because each person has their own special abilities, and it's like 6v6, but it's always on a payload usually. And so there's always a point of contact where everybody has to be battling and moving. So there's always like constant action.
Okay. It's kind of just like the introduction of the shrinking circle to battle royale games, right?
Kind of, yeah, more or less, I guess,
Okay.
if you can, break it down to its simplicity. But yeah,
I think what's going to happen is Sony's eventually going to sell their gaming arm to Microsoft. If the government can't break up a monopoly like this, they're literally just going to own everything. So why wouldn't they just buy Sony too?
right. I feel like Sony, the only way to combat this would be to join Nintendo. Honestly, it's like Sony has what 5 exclusive now? God of War, like
Uncharted.
The Horizon
Spider-Man's
game.
a big one. I don't know, but
I'm playing Spider-Man now. I have a PlayStation 5 I just got from Starkey. He let me borrow it because he hasn't played it. He's played it once. I was like, yeah, let me play that Spider-Man game.
that's nuts to me. Why would you have one?
Because he bought it when he was blacked out, and he was like, "No, that's a good idea." Not, and so now I'm capitalizing on it. I said I'd buy him a couple of games actually after but the Spider-Man game is fun. The graphics look fantastic, but like the exclusives are just that. It's the 5 games, and then they have what Ghosts of Tsushima,
yeah.
and it has a director's cut, and it's like I'm not trying to. If I wanted to watch a movie, I'd go watch a movie. You know,
a lot of people liked it. I don't know.
It got great reviews, but it just seems everyone that's I've known that has played it was like it was extremely boring. They said they played like for the first hour and nothing happened. It was just like they couldn't even figure out what the story was even about.
That's how I felt about Red Dead.
Right. Red
Dead
has the clout. Yeah, Red Dead has the clout and Rockstar behind it. I mean, this one has all of Sony, but like I don't know, just I feel like I didn't see a lot of people playing it as much as the like critics. I guess marketing and critics loved it. It was just like a fart sniffy game, which who the hell wants a fart sniffy game?
I don't know. It is a guy who's a swordsman who goes around murdering people. I think that's kind of in our wheelhouse.
Yeah, but they said there like wasn't as much action as they'd wanted. It's more like dialogue and director's cut and stuff like that. I haven't played it yet, so I don't know to the full extent of what it is, but the issue with PlayStation is going to be the titles. They don't have any. And then Nintendo is the only reason they're still alive is because of Mario.
I don't know that that's true, man. A lot of people do handheld gaming. Pokemon is huge. I don't agree with that. I don't even see those necessarily as direct competitors, honestly.
Yeah.
I get what you mean. It's just it's so different. They do things so much differently than Microsoft and Sony do.
Right, but I mean, like the Switch isn't even 1080 compatible. It's 720.
Native. They have one that is. They made the new one, the OLED.
They did finally.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. How?
That's what I mean. Though. It's like that's not what Nintendo's about. They're about gameplay and fun. Like they don't give a shit if their games don't look like they're the absolute best.
But their games aren't that fun though. Like even the Mario games, if the Mario Party's been ruined since Mario Party 3.
Dude, people love all of the Zelda games. I mean, I can't get on board with you on this take.
It's Zelda and Mario, and then what else is there?
Pokemon is literally the largest pop culture property in terms of value worldwide.
But everything else is just like, there's nothing else though. What other?
Just those giant properties. That's it. There's nothing else.
Well, that's where I'm saying is there's just not enough that brings me back to those games. Look, and I feel like also the Mario games that they've had out of late have just been money grabs. Anybody else?
I like the new Mario Party.
I'm older. Maybe because I'm older and the games are just fucking simple now. But like you're supposed to I don't know evolve with your game base. They should have some sort of.
Well, maybe you aren't their game base anymore.
Challenging. I'm a human who loves gaming. I'm still a sucker and I'm going to get the Mario games, but
So you love all gaming. All games you love.
I love all different types of games. Absolutely, yeah.
You know that that's not true. You're not out here playing fucking League of Legends or whatever. I'm just saying,
I
like,
played League of Legends.
you're just being argumentative now. Like, it's possible that they just make stuff that's not for you. A lot of companies make stuff that's not for you.
Right. But I mean, everybody grew up with Super Mario and Donkey Kong and all those properties, and then they just stayed at a third grade level.
We all grew up with Sega too, but like shit changes. It's not always going to be. This doesn't matter. We should totally just move on.
That's fine.
No, we
But
shouldn't.
good
You guys didn't let me
discourse.
talk at all.
No, I Brick. I honestly, I do. This is like an opinion thing, so I'm
I
not
agree.
telling you that you're wrong. I'm just, disagreeing. Mark, feel free to weigh in.
Can I just add something that
Absolutely.
doesn't follow what you guys were talking about? I think there were a few things that came out that I thought were interesting after this announcement from Microsoft about Activision. The first thing is one of the main, it was all over IGN and things like that. Basically, Sony came out and said they expected Microsoft to abide by their contractual agreements to ensure that Activision games are multi-platform. So first thing that comes to mind is like, all right, what is the actual contractual agreement? As a salesperson, all contracts aren't the same. You know, that contract might have been expired for a year and might be on monthly to month like terms or something. So I think they're just coming out basically trying to make, they're trying to get ahead. I think Sony's trying to get ahead of it and make it seem like if Microsoft doesn't allow Call of Duty to be a Sony game, they're hurting their Sony users and they're basically assholes. When
The
Sony,
difference, God,
go ahead.
The difference is Microsoft has been trying to get Sony to open up more cross-platform games, and Sony's been denying it. So now that, I mean, Call of Duty is cross-platform, but I feel like it's a bit more of a power play for Microsoft to have all these other properties and be like, all right, now do you want to do cross-platform crossplay for Overwatch? Do you want to do cross-platform crossplay for this game and that game? Now it's a little more the power. Microsoft has hand. Sony has no hand.
Yeah, I don't even think like the diehard Sony PlayStation people are that stupid to think like, Sony's being bullied right now by Microsoft. Like, dude, Sony's been doing this, and it's fucking hilarious that the Modern Warzone Twitter account, which is like verified 500,000 followers, they came out the other day and quoted by saying, anyone else think that if the roles were reversed and Sony bought Activision instead of Microsoft, that they wouldn't make Call of Duty a PlayStation exclusive without any remorse? They came out and said that shit, and I thought that was hilarious.
That's really true too,
dude. It is so true. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I think they're gonna have to come to some sort of agreement, but at this point, Sony's just trying to play the like, oh, don't be an asshole card, when realistically they've always been an asshole.
I think what it's going to come down to in the end is whether or not Microsoft really just wants to piss off gamers. Like, there are a lot of people out there. I don't think any of us really have a system preference. I mean, maybe you guys are more Xbox, but I'll play whatever. I don't give a shit. So if they're going to come out here and like try to put Sony actively out of business and just, push them out of the market, that's going to piss a lot of people off.
Right. And we don't care because we have PCs.
Right.
And PCs, I guess we would be leaning towards Xbox because they have that compatibility, but
I don't need an Xbox now though, because I can run it on my PC. But also,
exactly,
that reminds me, I want to play that God of War game. They just released a PC port, and apparently it's incredible. Ooh. That would be a lot of fun.
You like this Sonic Forces shirt, by the way, Brick? See this shit?
Ooh, swaggy.
Did you get that from your 90s t-shirt website?
Yeah, it's sick. It's not that old. It's a 2017 shirt, but still. I was like, that's sick. I need that.
All right, we ran a little long on that, so let's get in some trailers. For some reason, I don't know if the drop played there, but whatever. Let's fly through these. I had in my notes, don't forget about Tiger King. I sent this to you guys in the Discord. Kate McKinnon as fucking, what's her face? Carol Baskin, that bitch Carol Baskin. This looks really dumb to the point where we're going to have to watch it.
I'm over that saga. I don't give a shit anymore. I think it's just a little too late. JoJo.
Yeah, it's just really hard to make something that quickly. It's
right.
I think that they were hoping that the second season of the actual Tiger King on Netflix would kind of carry that steam, Nah.
They had a second season.
Yeah, it released earlier late last year.
Yeah, I think the reason that show went off in the first place was literally because no one had anything else to do, locked in
Yeah.
their house.
Yeah, and it was like a cultural phenomenon where it hit just all the right keys at the perfect time. And I don't know. I do think it's interesting because they're trying to play serious roles, but they're both. It's just so ridiculous that I don't know how you keep a straight face.
Yeah,
Mark,
nobody wants this sort of thing. No, nobody. The only reason people care about it is they care about a quick, bizarre documentary that they can watch and knock out within 2 days and be entertained for that short amount of time. Nobody is going to continue thinking about, oh, what's Tiger King been up to while he's been in jail these last few years? Nobody gives a shit. I don't know why they're trying to make another spin-off or whatever this is. Just
parody.
A parody property. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Seems
I
stupid.
think we were all just really excited about the idea of casting actors to play these weird ass people. I don't know if they're still doing the Nick Cage one where he was going to play Joe Exotic or what.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time that would come out, definitely nobody gives a shit.
But it's
Although
Nick Cage, so
we
I
would
would
probably
watch
watch it. Yeah, for Nick Cage.
it.
All right.
If Riff Raff should have been fucking Tiger King.
That's a good look. All right. Brick, I'm going to let you run with this one. Our Flag Means Death from Taika Waititi.
Reese Darby. So this one is about a pirate crew that is trying to bring the gentleman and pirate crossover where they don't want to be assholes, but they're trying to get that. I guess they're trying to be gentlemen while being pirates, basically. Reese Darby is the captain, and he's like wearing all these white coats and trying to be like, let's talk about how we feel type shit as a captain of a pirate gang. Just like they look like a bunch of misfits. It looks hilarious. Taika Waititi can't do anything wrong, I feel, at this point. It's just going to be absolutely great. HBO Max, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a series or?
I think it's a series. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. I need this to have room to breathe. Like I need you to go with it.
Absolutely. I love the cast too. Something about that New Zealand humor just gets me. It's just so dry.
The driest.
Perfect.
Absolutely the driest. Mark, you have any interest in this?
I do. More interest, to be honest, than what I had with Space Force when they announced that. Oh, that's a Netflix property, not really the same. No, I'm confident that this should go more than one season. I would hope, just having Taika Waititi behind this. I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it.
I want to see what other weird actors they drag into this. I saw Leslie Jones in the trailer. I'm not the biggest fan. That doesn't really matter. But like, if they can get that kind of star power, maybe they'll pull some other weird people in.
Mm-hmm.
So. All right. Coming in March. So that's one thing to look forward to. We've also got a weird show. Apple TV just really makes weird shit. And this Severance show starring Adam Scott, who you would recognize from Parks and Rec, he was Ben Wyatt. Basically, the idea here is you go to some super secret corporate job and they implant something into your brain that makes you forget, or it makes you, I guess, bifurcate your two lives, your work life and your home life, and they don't cross over. You don't remember the other while you're doing the primary. This seems really strange. So, Mark, I want to hear what you think of this.
It's strange, but at the same time, I feel like to some extent people kind of live this already with their 9 to 5. Like a lot of the times you don't want to associate anything you do personally with your job. Like I hate it when I have like maybe 1 or 2 people that know about my podcast at work and they mention it sometimes. I'm like, nope, we're not talking about it. Nope. There's times where like I have a meeting, I know I'm off camera, so I'll wear something like this. But once I need to be on camera, I throw on my nice little like
anything with a collar.
Yep. Yeah, it's this is true to some extent, and I feel like some people would actually be like, yeah, erase my memory when I'm living a personal life from what I was doing from my work with my work job and vice versa.
It's always so weird to me when people have friends at work. Like nobody I work with is either in my city or near my age. Like I have people who I prefer to work with, but like not who I hang out with on a regular basis, especially outside of work. It's very strange to me. But anyways,
Yeah. I think it all depends too on where you work. And I think sometimes that's a recipe for destruction where you have like, you might work with people your age and go to the happy hours, but it's never a good thing when you guys are drinking from 4 till 8 and then need to see each other maybe the next day on a Friday or a Monday or whatever. And it's like, ugh.
There's things you just don't say with coworkers that you say with friends that just like there's like that divider. And I always keep a nice buffer when it comes to the workplace relationships because
Yeah, you need to.
fuck that works stupid. I didn't realize that Ben Stiller was an executive producer on this one.
I did not know that either. But he's got his hands in a lot of stuff. If
He
you looked
does.
at what he's doing, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a couple things in line. He also, it was announced Dodgeball 2.
I have not heard that.
I'm looking at his IMDb. It just says announced, and it was Dodgeball 2 as a producer. So I don't know. That's interesting.
I would watch it for sure. But
hell yeah.
We've also got Patricia Arquette, who's in this. I'm not looking forward to seeing her again. Christopher Walken and Jesus, John Turturro himself. They're all in this. I mean, this is obviously a thriller, and shit's going to get real weird. But I don't really know what to expect. Apple TV just keeps making weirder and weirder shit.
Well, let me look. You have Apple TV now, right? For
like another 2 months.
Nice. And then what have you been watching on there? Just curious.
Just Ted Lasso. Eric has been watching a lot more than I have. I've just been, honestly, working like 60 hours a week lately. So
yeah, yikes. You're the guy from Severance at this point.
Pretty much. Sever my brain off from its stem, please.
Right.
Speaking of weird shit, though, and actually both of these properties are coming February 18th. Brick, I know you played Cuphead.
Oh, yeah. I loved the art style in that. That's what drew me in the first place, pun intended.
Absolutely, but I did have Vietnam-style flashbacks from this. I got so mad playing this fucking game. If you turn the difficulty up all the way and play it on hard, it's fucking impossible.
It's hard. Yeah, that's the other part that was like so entertaining about it. It was actually a challenge. And they brought back like the 2D like boss fighter, like kind of a side scroller game, which, hasn't been made popular in a while, I felt. But I think the biggest thing was everything was hand drawn for the game itself. The art style looks pretty similar in this one, but I just still love that it's still like that 1920s, 1930s kind of retro feel to it, which
early
is
in that Steamboat Willie like flailing arm shit.
Yeah, and it was cool. They brought in all the characters from the game, and they even had like
the Frog Bros and the Devil.
Frog Bros.
Yeah.
And catching Cuphead and Mugman's soul and like bringing it back in and be like, holy shit! Like, what the hell?
That's what's great about even the game too. Wasn't like it seems like it's for little kids. It's not. It's like there's some dark undertones there. It's literally making a deal with the devil. Wasn't that the name of the game? Deal with the devil,
yeah,
or
Deal with the Devil. And the secondary boss was like some gambling addict who's like
dice. Yeah, dice is ahead. Yeah. I mean, I love the game. I should go play it. We should stream that and just watch us go into a fucking blind fit of rage.
So much fun.
It gave me some Ren and Stimpy vibes. Like it was like a mash of Looney Tunes with Ren and Stimpy, like the animation, and then it did seem like it was gonna go towards not as much raunchy as Ren and Stimpy was, but it might. I think it's gonna have some adult themes.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, and they introduced the female cup, so I'm sure that they'll do something stupid with that too. All right, the Moon Knight.
I have Miss Chalice. I have her little Funko.
Oh, really? I don't remember her from the game.
She was in the game. There was like you unlocked abilities by like every single time you went and saw her.
No,
and then I think later on they did introduce her as like a playable character. I don't know though.
Okay. All right. Last trailer is Moon Knight. This kind of looks metal as fuck. I'm all the way in on this. I love the backstory. I love the direction that they're taking it. They're going back to the comic style, where it seems like so Mark Spector is Moon Knight, and he's always had this dissociative personality disorder. So he develops multiple personalities, and you see in this, he takes a phone call, and it's a woman who says, "Oh, thank God you're alive, Mark." He's like, "Why did you call me Mark?" You can see that they're going with that though. And I'm interested to see what Ethan Hawke is going to be in this. If he's just some kind of weird, I don't know, like cult leader or what. But his character wasn't very present in the comic books, and there's not much background to go on, so they can kind of take that any direction they want. And I'm excited for that. So, Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, so Ethan Hawke is going to be Arthur Harrow, and there's already huge speculation around his first appearance in the comics. I'm not sure what issue that was, but people are already running to their dollar bins at their comic book shops and trying to find this issue. This is the thing that usually happens. Then you have the people that are already grading. We're already grading this comic. It's funny in the comic book community because people they try to just take a guess at who the villain is going to be. So they'll get 50 issues of the same, one-off villain and just hope that villain shows up. So a lot of people were actually right about this villain showing up. But yeah, it's going to be Arthur Harrow. Overall, with the trailer, I'm pumped up for this too. I'm not going to say
I need a bunch of ass kicking though, which we don't get too much of.
Yeah, I'm not going to say he's the Batman of Marvel, but he does give off those vibes. Besides the personality disorder, you can make the same argument for Bruce Wayne having that too. Oscar Isaac Oscar Isaac just kills it in general.
Looks awesome.
If you go to like the actual comic translation, he is 100% the Bruce Wayne of Marvel, because one of the multiple personalities that he brings is like an investment broker who just funds all of this vigilante shit. So like, it's obviously Batman.
I didn't read I didn't read any of the comics, to be honest. Did he have a specific set of different personalities, or were they always across the board?
It depended on the writers. They've done a few iterations of this, and I'm sure now they're going to do a lot more. But originally, it just like one was a cab driver. One of them was a cab driver who just drove around like Hell's Kitchen, New York, like making connections and getting information from people. It's kind of a cool story when you think about it like that. But look, I want to see Oscar Isaac beat some ass. Maybe he runs into, I don't know, is this in London or what? Or is he just faking a British accent?
I think it is in London. Yeah.
Okay. So he's probably not going to run into anybody else, but yeah, we'll see.
Didn't the guy who's playing Jespard, I just butchered his name. I think he passed away actually, but he was playing Midnight Man.
Yeah. So that's a really unfortunate story. He died in a skiing accident, I believe last week or 2 weeks ago, and this was like his big break. And apparently the people making the movie were really excited for his role, and just really unfortunate. So, way to bring it down, Brick.
God damn, Brick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, how old was he? Damn.
He was young. He was like late 30s probably, if even. All right, I'm just going to dump some news on you guys because none of this really requires big conversations, but Mission Impossible, the next 2 movies have been pushed back a year each, so basically we're just going back to 23 and 24 for each one of them. It is.
Isn't that because they're building a fucking space station movie set or some shit? Because he's going to be on the actual like U.S. space station filming something.
Tom Cruise is real life Icarus. Like, just how close to the sun can I fly? How stupid can I get? What kind of dumbass? He wants to die. He wants to die because he thinks he's going to go meet fucking Emperor Zurg in space, and
he's trying to see all the souls.
Toy Story lately, I don't know.
Yeah, he's trying to see all the souls being sucked out of the volcanoes, like they fucking we're talking about.
Uh,
All right, next bit. The Batman is going to be 3 hours long, and this shit seriously needs to fucking stop.
It's not though, and everyone, there was like 3 people that sent me this in a private DM, like just the complex Instagram post, like, Batman has confirmed it's going to be 2 hours and 47 minutes or whatever the fuck it is. I'm like, why do people act like this isn't the direction we've been going for the last 6 years?
Okay,
like,
can we like cap it? Like we got to stop.
Yeah. But this is what superhero movies have become, and Marvel's been doing it. DC is going to continue doing it. Like, it's not going to end.
I'm not saying like only DC can't do it. I'm saying everybody fucking stop.
No, I get it. Like, I don't want to sit in a movie theater for 3 hours long. Batman, I'm more fine with that, obviously. Yeah,
I'll
I
get
don't
in.
think
We'll
this
get
is gonna-
into it. We'll get into it more with the Last Duel because that was 2 hours 35 minutes, something like that.
Mhm.
That didn't need to be that long.
I agree. That's the other thing is I think you need to make movies if it's going to be an individual property like this story itself. For the Last Duel, that should have been cut it at 2 hours. Try to at least. Otherwise, people are going to be afraid to go to the theaters, and then you're not going to get that box office splash that you want. But with a property like Batman that has a proven history with all the lore already established and attached to it, I think you can go the longer route. The other problem that I felt that like for superhero movies, it's not just going to be for superhero movies because Eternals did the same thing. It was 2 hours and 40 minutes, but they botched that because that was 10 people that they were trying to squeeze in to 2 hours and 40 minutes, and it still felt long and a bad movie. Yeah. So I feel like if you have the property and you have the IP that like actually flows with you, where you can actually make a good paced movie, I think then you can go with the 3 hours. I'm not mad that Batman's 3 hours. We haven't had a good Batman in years. So it's like, I feel I'm ready for a 3 hour commitment with Batman because I love the character so much. But other than that, keep it at 2.
I'm truly surprised that theaters haven't introduced an intermission for movies over like 2.5 hours. If you think about why, like what makes movie theaters money, where all the margins are, it's in the concessions. That gets people to go out and get more food. They don't make that much money off the tickets. I'm shocked, and I would actually prefer that. Get up, take a piss, stretch your legs.
Take a little moment, to just like, hey, talk about it with people outside, and then
what do you think's going to happen? That'd be fun.
Exactly.
We could do little Instagram lives where we're like, all right, we're through first half. That'd be Mark's YouTube voice.
I think that
Mark is leaving us, by the way. He's going to go do his own YouTube channel.
Yeah, he loves his own YouTube channel because we make enough content on our own YouTube.
It says a lot about our YouTube channel if you're that worried that I'm going to leave and go do my YouTube channel. Fuck
you know I'm just giving you a hard time. Jesus.
I agree, though. I think that's a huge miss from the movie theater perspective is not allowing for an intermission. Because even when you do go take a piss during the movie, I'm fucking sprinting. I'm sprinting to the bathroom and
you know he's not washing his hands
and running back. Yeah, I don't even touch it. I just pull my sweatpants down, hands
all
up.
the way down, all the way down.
I don't
like
even touch it.
5-year-old.
I don't even pull them back up. I'm running back down the aisle. Everyone's like, "What the fuck is that guy doing?"
I'm sorry. I don't know why.
Is that a chode?
I don't know why the visual of me walking into the bathroom in an AMC and seeing Mark's butt cheeks with his fucking jeans around his ankles made me want to spit my coffee out. That's hilarious. Thank you for that visual.
Yeah.
God.
Did you guys also see the other Batman news?
No, please.
Resident asshole Jeff Johns, Jeff Johns is a comic book writer. Yeah, he's written a lot of good comic books, like really iconic comic books, but he's a dickhead, and he has inserted himself into all the movies now and is not going anywhere, and he's made that clear, like, I need to be involved, asshole, dude. But anyways, he came out because Affleck was like, well, I wanted to continue the Batman, and I had this whole idea to kind of do something more along the lines of like a Batman the Animated Series, and I would fucking love that if he dressed up as like what we used to get with Batman the Animated Series in that like ugly ass yellow collared shirt suit. Just that would be hilarious if they like kept it in that time frame where he was like kind of old school early 90s looking. But anyways, he said, I would have loved to do something with Paul Dini, who was one of the co-creators of that show. And Jeff Johns was like, nope, I'm not allowing you to do anything like that. I need to be involved, because he thinks he's the whole creative behind all these movies. Long story short, fuck Jeff Johns. I don't love the Ben Affleck Batman, but I think he actually really cared about the property, and I don't think he was able to do a lot of the things that he wanted to do with it.
Yeah, it sounds like the people running that at Warner just like they don't have their shit together, which is really unfortunate because there's so many good stories to be told. And I know you think that I want DC movies to be bad, but I really don't. Like I want to enjoy every movie I go see. But anyways, Apple is also doing a Godzilla show. Continuation of the 2014 version that had Bryan Cranston and Elizabeth Olsen.
Wasn't that still a continuation for the like Godzilla versus Kong too?
I don't know. I can't keep any of them straight anymore.
I thought the original Godzilla was from Bryan Cranston, and like that was
no,
and they
that was
continued that one on.
Matthew, or the like 1999 one, wasn't it? And then they did another one mid 2000. It doesn't matter. We don't really care that much about Godzilla, do we?
No, I guess
No,
not. But
especially not a show. Like, what are they gonna do? Have Godzilla fucking up Hong Kong or Tokyo, and they'll just cut it and just have a guy like looking up, and then the screen will just go black, and you'll have to wait till the next episode.
Yeah.
Like,
you're gonna get like it's gonna be like what I talked about with the Halo thing, and you're not gonna see any of the aliens. They're not gonna show you Godzilla until like a 30-second clip in the final episode of the first season.
I think the Godzilla property needs to be a movie. I don't know how they're gonna make this work, but whatever.
Okay.
We'll see.
Netflix. I'm more excited about this property. Netflix is bringing back Wallace and Gromit in their first film since 2005. I fucking love Wallace and Gromit. That's
claymation. Yeah, it was solid. I liked it back in the day too.
There are so many good ones, and the chickens are funny, and the dog is hilarious. It's fun. It's fun for everybody.
It's a funny animation style too.
Absolutely.
Now, Gromit, and his fucking teeth go way out.
Yeah. They really do.
Did the guy that made that show, was he like the actual animator? Did he mold those claymation things and also write it?
No clue.
Because wasn't Chicken Run kind of the same shit too? I wonder if he did that one. I feel like that was the same.
Truly no idea.
I love it too. Yeah, that's
perfect. Cool. We're all in on that. All right. Daniel Radcliffe is apparently slated to play Weird Al Yankovic in a biopic. That is not news I expected to read or hear ever. I'm happy about it because I happen to love both of these people. Weird Al was formative on my sense of humor when I was a kid. Running with Scissors is a great album. Was like peak Weird Al for me. Obviously, you had Eat It and everything else like that. He's just a ridiculous person who knows how to have fun and is a great entertainer. Plays a hell of an accordion.
Amish Paradise.
I don't know what they're like. Are they just going to give Daniel Radcliffe a perm?
They'd have to. Unless, because I was going to say that could be his formative years, but it will be, I guess.
So this is written by the people at Funny or Die. Eric Appel, in collaboration with Weird Al. He has done some writing. I don't know. If you're a Weird Al fan, you've probably seen UHF. It's a hilarious movie from, I believe, the early 90s. Might have been late 80s. Incredible stuff. Yeah, 33 years ago. So, yeah, late 80s. This is great. And Weird Al, of course, has to tweet about it. This is a direct quote. When my last movie, UHF, came out in 1989, I made a solemn vow to my fans that I would release a major motion picture every 33 years like clockwork. I'm very happy to say that we're on schedule, and I'm absolutely thrilled that Daniel Radcliffe will be portraying me in the film. I have no doubt whatsoever that this is the role future generations will remember him for.
Because he hasn't been remembered for any role yet. So yeah, this is gonna be the one for sure. That's hilarious though. Daniel Radcliffe is gonna be Weird Al. I would have never. You could have asked me that a year ago, and I would have came up with 50 different actors instead of him.
I just love it. The whole thing makes me happy.
Yeah.
We've been losing a lot of celebrities lately, and I'm dreading losing Weird Al. I know it's terrible to think about, but
yeah, I think we're good.
We lost Meatloaf, man. Did you see that the tweet I sent you guys that was an apology from Weber Grills? They sent something out like as marketing, and it was they sent out like a weekly recipe, and apparently one of them was grilled meatloaf on the day that Meatloaf died, and then they sent out an apology email calling it out. I'm pretty sure nobody would have noticed or made that connection, but it's kind of hilarious.
Someone would have made the connection, but yeah,
who the fuck
I guess
is
better to get in front of it.
I mean, who would say like you did that on purpose because you're making fun of the Meatloaf? Who the fuck would think that?
Dude, how do you fucking grill meatloaf? First of all,
I don't know. I have no
you bake
clue.
it, you bake it or roast it in the oven, and then you like top it off with a shit ton of barbecue sauce, and then bake it more. Like you can't do that on the grill. That's gonna be messy as shit.
I don't know what
Terrible
to tell you,
recipe.
Mark. Anyways,
Terrible recipe. Last
bit of news, then we can move on. James Gunn, has revealed that a character from Peacemaker is slated to appear in a future big DC movie. Brick, you got any speculation? And also, can you catch me up on what you think of Peacemaker right now?
I am loving Peacemaker. I just that freaking intro just keeps getting more and more entertaining. The more and more I watch the show. John Cena is great. I love the supporting cast around him too. They're all funny. They all have their own moments too. Good action, and it's just like the story is developing in a way that I am excited to see. The next chapter that's unfolding, and the comedy is good. The comedy's landing. The last episode was called "The Chode Less Taken." It's just like so mature, right up our alley.
But it's also
very
got
well
heavy
done.
parts that make you
Yeah.
make you feel empathy for some of the characters who you might not otherwise feel that way about. It's very well done. So, Mark, do you have any guesses on which character it would be?
Well, he made a comment about Batman. How fucking funny if Gunn hit up Affleck was like, "You want to just show up for this cameo in this episode and
Wouldn't
just
that be
beat the shit
perfect?
out of Peacemaker?"
Oh, that'd be so cool. He fucking
Yeah.
Peacemaker hates Batman too. You can tell.
Yeah,
He
that would be
fucking hates
great.
him. That's incredible if they met. Anyways, I love the show. I'm so glad that they're making it, and so glad that they gave James Gunn the opportunity to make it.
Hopefully, DC just keeps Gunn. Marvel can have him back, but we also want him. We can share him.
All right, fair enough. Let's move on to our recommendations.
Here's some money. Go see a Star War.
All right. I'm going to produce on the fly here, and I'm going to say we should come back and record our draft separately because we're already at 50 minutes long on this episode. So let's do our recommendations here. Obviously, we just mentioned Peacemaker. Mark, what have you been watching, reading, doing?
I have been honestly just watching Peacemaker. That's the one show I've caught up on, and I only have time for, and I want to commit my time to. But I do want to mention in our trailer segment, I wanted to talk a little bit about this new trailer from A24 for all the A24 bros out there. It's called X, like just the letter X. And it looks like it. Well, first of all, it stars some pretty notable and upcoming people like Mia Goth is in that, but we also have Jenna Ortega, who's in the new Scream movie. She did a good job. Brittany Snow, and it also has Scott Mescudi, aka Kid Cudi, in it.
Oh.
And
Wow.
it takes place, I think, like towards the late 70s. But it's from this trailer, it looks like it's gonna really have that 70s vibe, like from a cinematography standpoint. I'm sure the soundtrack and the score, whatever, is going to have that too. But this is centered around this group of adult actors and videographers who are in the porn business. And they basically go to one random house in rural Texas. And the two people living there are just some old, creepy, wrinkly fucks. And they're like, yeah, you can stay out there in the shed out back and do whatever you want to do if you pay us. So they're basically like, yeah, we need to shoot this scene. We're going to camp out here in your like barn type area and get it done. And of course, some weird A24 shit happens towards the end of the trailer where it gives like this horror type vibe where these creepy people want to get like involved with these younger adult film actors. And it gets really fucking weird. Really
the trailer I watched that it's basically their A24 is trying to add like a slasher with like porn. It's a porn slasher basically, which is like they're adding in that gross part with like all these old wrinkly creepy people around, all these like Brittany Snow is like beautiful, and like all these other actresses and actors are like they're young and like good looking actors, and then they have like this like,
you know what
gross, fucking creepy vibes. They want them creepy vibes.
You know what I don't want to happen, but I know I have a good feeling that A24 is going to insert this into the movie, is there's going to be some type of like magical spell casting thing that this old lady does. And she makes the porn stars think that she's actually like a young porn star. And they're going to like have a scene together. And then of course it's going to be like from
like Game of Thrones,
the porn star's perspective where they're seeing like this really good looking girl. And then it's going to go to the old lady's perspective where we see fucking her wrinkly ass on top of like Kid Cudi or something.
Straight up.
The
Red Witch.
So weird.
I don't
Good
want to keep
pull.
talking about this wrinkly ass thing. We've talked a lot about a lot of butts in this episode. That's what this episode is going to be called, is butts. What did you call them? Crispy, wrinkly old fucks? Is that what you said, Mark?
Well, I didn't say crispy, but that makes sense. Them being in Texas, they do look kind of like they haven't put on any moisturizer in the last decade.
Will we get
Let me
pulled down
see
from
that.
services if we name this episode "Crispy, Wrinkly Old Fucks"?
I don't know. Let's try. Got nothing to lose.
Come here and give me that dick, old young fella.
I didn't like that at all. All right, Brick, what have you been watching?
Ozark is out and it's still electric, baby. I rewatched the end of season 3, and the character Tom Pelphrey, who does Ben Davis, the brother, just absolutely electrifying when he was trying to, like, he was dealing with the reality of what their situation, but he also has like mental health issues, but everyone's saying that he's like crazy and going into all these, and but he, like, the situation is true, and so like him battling those demons, it was just so electric. And the story is just still just, you're on the edge of your seat the whole time. I've been loving Ozark ever since it came out. So
This is the final season, right?
yes, but it seems like Netflix has said season 4 part 1. There's only 7 episodes. I know, but I guess that makes sense because they couldn't, I guess they weren't going to do 2 full seasons, so might as well have an extended season in 2 different parts. Not happy about it, but it is what it is.
Okay. I actually am going to recommend a big fluffy robe because I'm freezing in my basement, and this is real nice right now. I haven't really had a ton of time to watch anything, but I have been catching up with some Bulls games because that's something I can do easily while I'm just doing some work. I don't know if you guys watched this Friday night, I believe it was, when Grayson Allen broke Alex Caruso's wrist on a fucking extremely dirty shitbag play.
He's a piece of shit.
Uncle Kyle, I know you listen to this, and I know you're a Bucks fan. Alex Caruso is very important to the Bulls, and I just want to say fuck Grayson Allen. Piece of shit. There's no room for that in basketball, and fuck the Bucks. All right. I hate all Milwaukee teams. So that's all I got with that.
I didn't dislike the Bucks really, but I just I hate Allen.
I didn't either until Friday night.
He has a long track record of doing this shit.
Yeah, he went to Duke. He's the fucking That's what his whole career has been. He's just a piece of shit.
He's been a weasel the whole time, and now Alex Caruso's out like 6 to 8 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, but very unfortunate. But that's all I've been catching up with. Obviously, we mentioned Peacemaker and we watched Last Duel, but
he's a Lambeer wannabe, is what he is.
Yeah, and he's not nearly as good. Anyways, let's move on to our movie review. So there is no drop because it's not working. And whatever, I'll cut it in later. As Brick mentioned earlier, we watched The Last Duel. And this is a movie that was directed by Ridley Scott. Came out originally a really bad time for this movie to come out, I think. A lot of people might have just outright missed it. But currently 85% on Rotten Tomatoes, 81% from fans. It's getting a little bit more steam now because it's on HBO Max. So if you haven't caught it yet and this seems like your jam, go check it out. As I mentioned, this is from Ridley Scott. Came out last year. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Adam Driver, Jodie Comer. This is a star-studded cast, and obviously Ridley Scott is a star director. So I want to ask you, Brick, what were your high-level thoughts of this movie?
I actually really did enjoy the story, and I thought the acting was very well done too. I think some of the big wide shots that they had of some of the castles and some of the background, I really enjoyed that. They did a good job, and the pacing was good until probably that 3rd chapter, which I think they could have omitted 100% because no new information was brought forth, I felt, during that 3rd time, because the whole it's telling the story over and over again from different people's point of views, and if you cut out that 3rd act completely, it just seems like it would make the movie at 2 hours and everyone involved would be just like happier because 2.5 hours is too long for a movie, like we stated earlier. And it just, being able to watch it from home, I took a couple breaks and was like, oh, this is nice. I can go pause it, not miss anything, and then grab food or go to the bathroom or do something, and then come back and not like miss a beat. Go ahead.
I agree with you that it was
But
too
Act 3
long.
was the highlight.
Well, yeah. So here's how I would do that differently. Cut the other 2 points of view shorter. I would cut both Matt Damon and Adam Driver's points of view shorter, and then you find the full reveal when she finally tells her story at the very end of the movie. I think that because hers is obviously the most important because she's the one who you're assuming is telling the truth, right? Like that's the way it's set up. So we didn't really set up the premise of this. This is 14th century France, so everything sucks and everything's muddy and dark all the time and the sun is never out. I don't really get that, and all these French people have British accents, which was also pretty weird, except for the ones that have French accents, which makes the juxtaposition of them against each other even weirder. Really just kind of missed the mark on that, Ridley Scott. But anyways, Adam Driver is accused of raping Matt Damon's wife, Jodie Comer, and we are unraveling this, and it culminates in a battle to the death, trial by combat, where people back then thought that if you won a fight, it was because God wanted you to, and you couldn't get pregnant from rape. I literally gasped when there was some religious leader that while they were doing this like court hearing thing who said out loud, well, everyone knows that you cannot become pregnant from rape. And then he looks around the room and everybody's like, well, yeah, obviously everybody knows that.
I was just you really enjoyed it. And everybody's like, God damn.
Did you feel pleasure?
Oh,
you missed me with that one, bro.
I know it's not funny, but it's so jarring that it is funny. But anyways,
it's absolutely asinine and ridiculous. And this was before the Crusades even happened, because it said at the very yes,
it's right before the Crusades. But I mean, at that point in time, everything was still war constantly, especially in that area between the Franks and everybody else. You know, they mentioned specifically the Scottish and the Irish as well.
War used to be so much more. It's so personal with that hand-to-hand combat. It is a weird era in human history, and people were always so agitated all the time because there was literally nothing else better to do than just stir up trouble. Yeah, everything was fucking terrible and trash. Everyone
they mentioned in this Matt Damon's whole family, his wife and son had died from the fucking plague before this. Of course he's a miserable bastard. What else is he going to do besides go to war and fight everyone at every opportunity that he can?
But because of the era that it was in, they did sufficiently raise the stakes because of this ridiculous world that they were living in, this worldview that they had. They're like, yeah, and if you are lying, then you'll be burned at the stake. And some people, they're alive for 20 to 30 minutes, just so you know. It's just all right, I'm telling the truth. This is fucked. This is absolutely fucked.
If your husband slips and falls out there, you are a dead bitch because God said so.
God said so. He wouldn't have made him slip. No. Super fucked.
I was genuinely curious, though, what would have happened if they both just died out there?
That did also bring up...
They'd be like, send her to the brothel.
All right,
keep her alive, but send her away to the brothel.
I'm fucking all over the place right now. Can you pull this together? Give me your thoughts.
Fun fact, the last public execution in France was only 83 years ago, just so you guys know. They had somebody guillotined in their Times Square area, which I think is fucking insane. Only 83 years ago.
Would you have gone to see that?
Huh?
Would you have gone to see that?
With Mark's bloodlust, obviously he's there.
Dude, I mean, how much were tickets on StubHub at the time?
StubHub.
Your buddy calls you. It's 20 minutes, 20 minutes from go time, whatever it is.
TJ calls you. He's got a Red Bull event.
20 minutes before the national anthem occurs.
StubHub is the app has the logo is a guy with just a stub arm that just got cut off in fucking torture. All right. Anyways, yeah, that was a fun fact. I love Jodie Comer. Her and Free Guy was fucking amazing. And she's been in Star Wars too, I think. A bunch of other movies.
Really good. She was. Yeah. I didn't like her that much in Free Guy. I loved her in this.
Yeah, she was really good. as for Ben Affleck, it's like he was really trying hard not to be Ben Affleck. It was like, is this his first role where he's like in a period piece trying to like take on this whole persona of some old whatever
Landlord.
prince or whatever he is? Yeah, it was. I don't know if I don't think he. And plus, he had like bleach blonde hair. It was kind of weird.
And his beard. What the fuck were they doing with the facial hair in this movie?
I don't
Even
know.
if that is like historically accurate, no, don't do that.
Matt Damon looked like Theo Vaughn's fucking fat brother.
Everyone in this movie, except for Jodie Comer's character, is a piece of shit, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's because there's nothing else to do in 1300 besides eat, fuck, kill, and drink.
You know, that was the other thing, is I really didn't need to see Adam Driver and Ben Affleck have an orgy.
So many times. I also didn't need to see the rape scene twice.
Yeah, you really could have shortened this movie.
I think you can infer based off of the actions, even if you just cut it after they are chasing after the table. It's just like
I get what you mean.
Like it was a little gratuitous, in my opinion.
I think it's kind of important in a way to show that, like, to make people uncomfortable about that, if that makes any sense. I don't know. It's a topic that we probably shouldn't even really be talking about because we're not qualified to. But
yeah,
it was a big part of the movie.
I was looking at a thread because in the movie, from Adam Driver's perspective, when that scene happens, she's still kind of, well, she does say no, but I think they want you to think like, was it a kinky like no where she actually really did like it? Because when Adam Driver went up to her, like chased her up to her room, that was from his perspective, and it still was kind of rapey.
It was still very
rapey.
I felt
rapey.
that the scene was literally tit for tat, like the same exact beat for beat, and there was no different differentiation there, which is why I thought that the second and third act, I suppose, kind of just got a little repetitive, and then I guess, like I said, there was gratuitous at that point. It just felt repetitive, and I thought they could have either cut the movie shorter or did something else in that regard.
My point is, as hard as it is to rewatch that, I think they left it in there because although it was very rapey of a scene from Adam Driver's perspective, when he had her pinned on the bed, she did not fight as much as she did from her perspective, and it kind of looked like at a moment when he was like next to her ear, she was like accepting of it. I don't know. You got to go back and rewatch it. Well, don't.
No, I don't want to rewatch those scenes.
Whoever watches the movie, just take note of that. It's like, yeah, Adam Driver is super creepy, but from his perspective, they left it in there because I think they wanted that, like their intimacy or their relationship to be seen from that aspect. Regardless, Adam Driver is made for these type of roles. I love him fucking just wielding a lightsaber or sword, his big ass. But yeah, I think without the third act in the last 25, 30 minutes of this movie, it would have just been real bad, like on the Green Knight type level.
Oh no, it's not. It wouldn't have been that
No,
bad.
I agree, because they had some good. I thought the pacing for the first 45 minutes was very good. I thought
the battle scenes were incredible.
Action. They had very good. There was a lot of blood. There was a lot of I felt like the other cool part that I'd noticed was within these actors, the subtle like facial expressions that they showed and the different. There's like a lot of subtlety from one story to the next, who was telling it and how people were reacting. I felt like that was pretty well done because of how it's the little intricacies of the storytelling about who's telling the truth and how people are reacting to each other. That was really well done. But I agree that the best part of the whole movie was that last 20 minutes where they had the battle. I was
butt clenching.
My palms were sweaty, and I didn't know what was going to happen. And because they raised the stakes so sufficiently in the scene previous during the trial, it just seemed like it was, you just didn't know what was going to happen. I did get a lot of like Gladiator final battle between Joaquin Phoenix and Russell Crowe, that he does a really good job of kind of doing that one-on-one personal battle and making it not too one-sided, not too clear cut about who's going to win, but it was very personal. And they did turn off the music, and you felt just the pure like gravitas of the situation of everybody, and everyone watching was just like breathless. When I finished it, I was actually like speechless afterwards. I was like, it really brings the whole movie together. And with that, I will say see it.
Yeah, everyone was
Wow.
First of all, well said. Secondly, everyone was breathless except for that shitbag king. Oh God, I hated that kid.
Let's talk about
I
the
fucking
king.
hated that kid so much.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
what
looked
a
like he was
fucking
18 years
loser.
old, and he's
No,
like,
he was
"Yes,
like
your
14.
punishment will be death." And just smiling, like, okay.
That's some
Yeah,
King
he's
Joffrey
thrilled.
vibes. Yeah. I agree with almost everything you said, Brick. I found it really interesting. You know, it's always kind of fun to look back in what customs were in the past, like when Matt Damon. It was like such a big deal that he like went and took a knee before the king and set his glove down to symbolize that the duel was happening, and like he had put his his life out there on the line for it. I always find shit like that really interesting, and like when he freaks out about Adam Driver not calling him sir.
Yeah,
Matt Damon was a good curmudgeonly shitbag in this.
he really was. He had all of his intentions, I guess, were right. He was defending his wife, but like at the same time, it was more defending his honor and
Yeah.
defending his land and his like namesake, and just the absolute disrespect that Adam Driver and the king and everybody else, that was it was like a boiling point that kind of came to that.
Yeah. First thing he says when she tells him is, will this man not, like, is there anything this man will not take from me? It's not like, oh my God, are you okay? Or
Right.
anything like that. It's
Right.
yeah, it's so if you're uncomfortable with stuff like that, I don't really recommend this for you. It is very much a thing of its time, and look,
Yeah.
it's not going to be very politically correct at all in the 1380s. So
Yeah.
just be aware of that if that kind of thing makes you really uncomfortable.
The most
Very
fucked up
interesting.
part that happened with Matt Damon's character was when, after it happened to Marguerite, they were in the bedroom. He's like, he cannot be the last one in you. And it's just like, no.
Yeah, that was
Jesus.
fucked.
No.
Ugh, yeah. I found out why this
No.
went to HBO Max so quickly.
Why?
It cost $100 million to make, which means it probably cost another $100 million to market. I do remember seeing a lot of trailers for this. It made $30 million at the box office.
I remember
Yikes.
Ridley Scott was very upset about that too. I thought he made some statements being like, "This is fucking bullshit," and blame society. But it's like 2.5 hour movie, dude. It's
Not just that, but I mean, he came out against some banger movies, if memory serves.
Yeah.
So,
right.
look, man, tough shit. Do a better job of marketing it. It's not my fault that your fucking studio didn't market it better. Anyways, I've seen it now, and I like it, so I will say see it.
I'm going to say it. I'm going
Say
to
it.
say
Hey, how about you say the movie?
say it. Just fucking say it. I'm going to say save it. Did any of you feel at the end, like when after Matt Damon, well, spoilers, sorry. I'm going to talk
No,
spoilers. No?
Just
Okay,
after
okay.
at the end. Just say at the
At
end.
the end, after the shit goes down and Matt Damon raises his hand, whatever, did anyone think when Marguerite was next to him, he was just gonna turn and like fucking kill her?
No.
No,
Because
I
there was a
didn't think
moment
that at
hold on.
all.
The reason I thought that is because in the last moments, Adam Driver has a scene where they look each other in the eyes and he makes his case as quickly as he can before shit happens. But in that moment, I'm like, maybe Matt Damon kind of believes him. And after that, I was like, dude, it was just an eerie feeling. Like when she came down and was all, you could tell she was on edge. And I'm like, wait, is shit gonna really turn? And then Brick made a comment before I even saw the movie, like, wow, didn't expect that. And I'm like, oh shit, this might actually
So
happen.
you thought
right
he was
now.
going to turn around and just cut her head off?
I thought he
Off
was
with
just
the head.
gonna, right in the jugular.
That's kind of funny. Okay, that makes sense. Look, it was.
I feel like I still spoiled it, even though I really
You
tried
definitely
not to spoil it.
spoiled it.
Honestly, I don't think this movie can really be spoiled because I think that you're supposed to know basically what happens going into it. So I don't necessarily call that a spoiler. But you know what? I can take one of these about once every 6 months. Some super dark, dreary bullshit movie where the sun doesn't shine until the final 30 seconds and, everybody's miserable the whole time. I think that's probably why I haven't gone back to rewatch Game of Thrones, because everyone is so fucking miserable in that too. Everyone except for Ben Affleck in this movie was just a miserable piece of shit.
Yeah, Ben Affleck was having a great time.
Yeah, just because he was a fucking philanderer getting hammered all the time.
Giggity goo.
Absolutely
Ridley Scott
wild
was in
parties.
the Smithers? Where? I don't even know what he looks like.
Neither do I.
No, he was the director.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said, why does he have this weird beard? I thought he was doing
gave
that
everybody a
M. Night
weird
Shyamalan
beard.
thing.
Ben Affleck has a
Oh.
weird beard.
I thought you were saying like he was pulling an M. Night Shyamalan thing when I thought he was like a soldier or something.
I mean, he might have been. I don't know. He's pretty old though.
He is
Anyways, no, I don't think that he's an actor in this movie. I'm pretty sure he just directed it.
Who knows?
Also, why did Matt Damon have a mullet? Was that a French style at the time?
I don't. Not
That
sure.
scar was also that looked like something I would do for Halloween. Like if I spent enough money on the makeup kit, I probably could pull that off. But
Yeah.
Matt Damon does not look good in a mullet. He looks like that 80s bully that you just want to fucking punch in the face.
I mean, nobody really looks good in a mullet.
Yeah, he especially didn't look good though.
No offense to your son, he looks good in a mullet.
I shaved it.
Okay.
It was fun while it lasted, but I'm like, this has got to go.
Okay.
This has got to go.
So, what? Go
Should
ahead,
should we just finish the draft? I don't know why we.
I gotta go take care of Max soon.
Okay, that's fine. That's
Sorry,
fine.
we'll put that on the YouTube later, or just put out our results. We'll figure it out.
We can do it tomorrow or like later tonight if you want. I'm down.
Do we know what's coming out next week?
Next week,
If you wouldn't mind pulling it up. Oh God, I think that's in February.
No, that's February. So
I think that's the
late
first week
January.
in February.
I'll
While
pull it up right now.
while you're pulling that up, we've been talking about playing maybe some sort of co-op type game, or even like one where it's just dumb games. Like we played golf with your friends for a while. It was just stupid mini golf, but it got super competitive, and we were going to stream some of that. So if anybody out there has a game that they like, that they could make as a recommendation, something that we could all easily play at the same time, where we'd all be seeing the same thing on the screen. I'm thinking like Overcooked or Moving Out. I don't know. Moving out. Something like that. It doesn't have to be one of those games or anything like that. Just something similar where we could all be kind of playing together, and we can all just bullshit while we stream it.
Yeah, you guys have heard of that Gang Beast, right?
I haven't. I'll look into that. I'll watch a trailer for it.
Oh, it's so funny. It's just like a weird like ragtag game where you have to like grab somebody and throw them off the map, and they get like 3 lives. But it's like it's wonky controls.
Okay.
And it's really funny the way that they're just getting like ragdolled around, and it's just like stupid fun. Like, you'll see it and you'll be like, all right, that's the one. That's a stupid ass game.
Cool. Fair
Home
enough.
team.
There's also a game on Game Pass. It kind of seems like a Double Dragon type game where we'd all go like through this city and just beat the shit out of like ninjas and stuff like that. It looks pretty fun.
We could probably do that with like an emulator for the old X-Men game or something, or the Simpsons game.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I saw you bring up Battletoads as well. I loved Battletoads back in the day.
Battletoads would be pretty sick. All right. What's next week, Brick?
Honestly, we don't have anything for it except for Home Team, which is that fucking Kevin James movie. So maybe we can do fucking Ozark. Have you guys?
Yeah, we'll see. I haven't started it yet, but we'll get there. We'll figure it out.
You've seen up to season 3 though, right?
Yeah, we reviewed
Okay.
season 3.
Okay, perfect. Then we can probably do season 4 because it's 7 episodes and they're good.
Okay. We'll think about that and get back to it. Mark's been streaming some Batman lately. Keep your eyes peeled for that on Twitch. Anything else you guys want to plug?
No, time out. Mark, how the fuck have you beaten Batman 5 times and not realized how to do the free flow combat yet? This man goes in there and just is button smashing, according to him, A the whole time, when it's like the first introduction is like, all right, if you press A and you time it up with the hit, a free flow combat combination will start and you'll be able to actually pwn and play and be fun. How did you?
First of all, I have not unlocked all the features to my free flow combat yet. I'm still in the very early stages, so it's very basic fighting mechanics right now. Second of all, half the time when I'm battling these guys, I got like 30 around me. You can't just keep doing combos on one guy. You gotta block a guy coming behind you and stuff. I'm getting there. Don't worry. And I've not played this game 10 times. I played it once.
You said 5.
2007 or whenever it was.
We'll go back to the tape because you said this is your 5th playthrough, which is what I was like, that's really bad.
No, I'm pretty sure I said it was like 5 years since I played this last.
Really getting game
that
shape
makes
right
more-
there.
No,
That
I
makes
said
more
this was
sense.
my 5th session, meaning like, yeah, this was the 5th time I've played it in the last month.
Okay, so you can understand that if I thought you beat the game 5 times and didn't know how to play the free fall combat, that would have made no sense.
No, I
if you want to see
forgot
real
all the mechanics and am reteaching myself it.
Yeah, if you want to see some real combat, I think I might stream some Spider-Man from PS5.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
The
a
Miles
long
Morales.
shot.
The Miles Morales.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Throwing some real shade out there.
Absolute trash, dude.
All right, boys, let's wrap this up so we can go enjoy our afternoons. Thanks for tuning in to episode 280 of the Chumpcast. As always, we love you. And you can follow us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. You can also call or text us at 847-920-6107. Good episode, boys. And until next time.
Chimps out, motherfuckers.
Peace. Go Niners.
Fuck
the Packers.